Good evening. Patrick here from Eight Questions With and Have Cheetah Will View. Welcome to the channel. It's Wednesday, and we are here with for our interview with Kevin Chaos of Haunted by Horror. Um, yeah, no doubt. Hey, Echo, how are you? Yeah. We touched upon that about what happened yesterday on the interview. Um, yeah, uh, that was pretty crazy. Um, Glad you guys survived it, though. So we'll be talking to Kevin Chaos. He's a film reviewer, horror lover, a fellow YouTuber, creative, and he'll be here in about 15 minutes or so. Super happy that he's going to be doing this interview. I haven't known Kevin a whole long time, but I'm going on my gut instinct, which is rarely ever wrong. And I just think he's awesome. Actually, I caught his. I've been watching a few of his reviews. Rumpelstiltskin was the last one I watched, which was very entertaining. And Yeah, he's also a horror fan, and he, like I said, he's also a film reviewer and a fellow member of our community. And so we're gonna get to know him a little bit in this interview, and we'll ask him some good questions, and I'm sure we'll get some thoughtful and intelligent answers because he's a pretty interesting guy. So we're happy about that he's coming onto the show to talk to us. I want to say thank you to everybody who came out earlier today to see our good friend Harry from Pick Surprise. That was a really good interview as well. And of course, yesterday we also interviewed Ken from Mid Level Media, which was a sensational interview. And anybody who came out to support that, really thank you. I really appreciate it. And what's really exciting for me at the moment is I'm looking at my subscriber count, and I got 9 people. I don't know. I hope they all stay. I think they will, but we'll see. We'll see by midnight or so. Um, but yeah, I'm actually closer to 700 than I was last night. So there you go. Uh, see. Programming note: this Saturday on the House of Horrors. This Saturday at 7 p.m. Stephen and Christy are interviewing Tom Matthews from Jason Lives. Uh, that's right. Tom Matthews, who played the adult Tommy Jarvis, is coming to the House of Horrors this Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Um, it's a fast rising show. It's like it happens super fast. So we're doing our best to let people know about that. Me and the Cheetah, we already booked our tickets for the show, so we'll be there for that. And congratulations to Miss Boomstick and Stevens for nabbing a big interview. So that will be at Saturday at 7 p.m. Us, on the other hand, we still got a kicking June going on here, and let me tell you a little bit about it. So tomorrow night, Thursday the 2nd, we will be visiting. We will be visited by actress director Molly Sousa. She'll be here talking about her first movie, her directorial debut, uh, and her movie is called Late Checkout, and that'll be coming up. Orange tabby. That's an orange cheetah. Cheetah. Um, that's right. So she'll be here tomorrow night to talk about her film Late Checkout. Let's see, on Sunday, June 5th, it's a special 5 p.m. show. Special 5 p.m. show as we are welcoming in actor Kyle Rappaport from the film Sharkula and Return to Splatter Farm. He will be here with us at 5 p.m. on Sunday on this channel. Then at 9 o'clock p.m. we will be staying here on this channel for our Friday the 13th 2009 review. We didn't get to do it last Sunday but we're doing it this Sunday, and we'll be joined by guest hosts Sean Blue Digital and the sassy Jennifer Tochi from the Midnight Hour. They're going to come in and help us break down that movie. And then me and Al are going to do our rankings. We're ranking the franchise. We're going to do our favorite final girl, our favorite kill, our how rankings are, right? Best films in the franchise and whatnot, highlights of the deep dive, things like that. So that's what we'll be doing. Monday, the 6th of June, we'll see me and the Cheetah on the road. We're going on the road. We're going to New Jersey. That's right. We're going to New Jersey. We're going to go hang out with our fellow ISC Midnight Night, an American Werewolf in New Jersey, as we are going to be talking about our 5 guilty surprises, movies that people don't really know about, but they should. And we each got to pick 5 movies that we thought would fill that slot, and we came up with 6. We hope that Michael let us talk about 6. Hey, bud, how are you? I saw you dropped a new premiere. I'm going to go check it out. The Bison Cemetery, I think that is. I definitely want to go check that out. Glad you're here. That show will be at 8 o'clock Monday. So that's where I'll be Monday. On the 7th, we'll be back here with writer Michael Goldberg. Will be here on the 7th of June, and he has written a book about James Wilson. God, I should know this by now, right? I'm solely embarrassed by that. I'm going to say James Wilson. I'm not going to say his middle name right now. I'll do that later on because I actually want to talk about that a little bit more. So he'll be here talking about his book that he wrote about guitarist James Wilson. And many of you may not know who he is, but some of us do. He was an extraordinary guitarist. He played for probably the number one American punk rock band. Some say it was the Ramones. I say it was the Avengers. As far as the most dynamic early American punk rock band, and he played for the Avengers, and then he went on to play with Chris Isaak. And we'll follow the story. Michael will tell us the story after that. So that'll be next Tuesday on the 7th. On the 8th of June, we have our good friend Sean Kane, film editor and director extraordinaire. He'll be here for a one-on-one interview. We'll be talking about film directing, getting a movie made, and editing. He's got a lot of stories to tell, a lot of funny stories, so he'll be here for a one-on-one interview. And then on Friday the 10th, I don't have anybody right now for the Thursday. I have to reschedule that. we were going to interview Matt Leal, but he has to do pickups, so we have to reschedule him for maybe in July. On Friday the 10th at 9 p.m., we have Steve Merlo will be with us. He'll be joining us talking about the Sawyer Massacre. It's his film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that he's making, and he'll be coming by to talk about that and catch us up on that. And then on the 12th of June, we are covering American Ninja. That's right. No more Friday the 13th for a little bit. We will be talking about the American Ninja, Michael Dudikoff, Steve James, Judy Aronson, who was in Friday the 13th. And we'll be talking about that on the 12th. On the 13th, a special show on the 13th, we have I don't even know how to say this name. All I know is he's supposed to be a cool dude, and I can't wait to talk to him. That's all you need to know. No, Jennifer, you never even heard of the Avengers. See, I know that because most people don't think about that. The Ramones are okay, but when it comes down to punk rock history, those who know that the Avengers were a lot more important. They're the ones that they actually went on tour with the Sex Pistols, which is supposed to be the first real punk rock band anywhere. They blew those guys out on a nightly basis. Yeah. Ramones are a way better band than the Sex Pistols were. Sex Pistols were horrible. Let's see. On the 14th, on Tuesday the 14th, we have Elaine Huntington will be here with us. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Wow, this is the first time I think you've seen you come to an interview. Well, at least since Kevin was on. Hopefully, you're doing well. Loved the coffee and tea video. That was awesome. I enjoyed that very much. I hope they gave you a sample bag of everything they had in the store. David Johansen. Oh, David Johansen. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's very influential. You know, he reinvented himself as Buster Poindexter. That was cool. That was really cool. Yeah, I know who you're talking about there, Jennifer. You're trying to catch me slipping, but I know who you're talking about. Good artist. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're having fun. Our guest will be here momentarily. Hey, Jaden, how are you? All right. Kristen's birthday's this Sunday. Oh, happy birthday. I'll be there. No, not they didn't give you they didn't give you a bag of everything. Well, okay. Man, coffee. Wow. That's awesome. That's so cool. What a nice video too. I mean, that was a really good video. I've thought about that. I thought about taking the Cheetah and going to a coffee shop and ask they let us do a video there, but I don't think they probably let me in with a grown cheetah, but you know, it would be fun. I bet you I get a lot more samples than needed though. If I brought the cheetah into if I brought the cheetah in, I have a feeling they probably say take as many bags as you want. Oh my gosh. What teas and coffees did you get? They all sounded so good. They all sounded so good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let's see. Tomorrow night after we're done with our interview with Molly Sousa, please stay tuned and head on over to Hobbs Horror for the midnight hour featuring Hobbs Horror, Mighty Casey, Mr. Bones, the sassy Jennifer Tochi, and Killer Katie, and maybe some echoes. You can do it. Just tell them it's a pug dressed like a cat. Yeah, I don't think that will. Well, you know what? There was a lion that was named Baby that they used to take around. That could work. That could work. And you know, and cheetahs do meow and purr. By the way, just another fact for you guys to know that Paladin being a cheetah, he does purr and he does meow, just like cheetahs. Let's see. You received a caramel mocha concoction. That's incredible. You should go on location. Yeah, I would love to. I would actually. That would be fun. You guys have a. You know, I've actually been to Niagara Falls. Me and my wife, we went there, and it's a great place to visit. Um, in Canada, ours are getting really out of hand. I saw people flashing $6. All right, everybody, put your hands together because this is a man I'm excited for you guys to meet, and you will be summoned to his channel later. So please give it up to our friend Kevin Chaos from Haunted by Horror. Roar. And he's a Cheetah fan. Ta-da!
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. So obviously, I just told him his secret. I told him that you're a huge Cheetah fan.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. You guys can all go home now. See, there you go. See, Kevin spoke. I told you this man has it on the ball, and he's a Cheetah fan.
Oh yeah, I don't understand why they haven't made more horror movies with cheetahs.
You know what? It's not for the lack of trying. And I do have a story I can share with you. So, so I always tease some of my director friends about putting cheetahs in their movies. Be sitting there going like, yeah, we're doing a movie. I say, well, do you have any room for a cheetah? So one of the directors I talked to when I was on Twitter was Joe Lynch, who did Nights of Badassdom and Mayhem.
Oh yeah.
So I kept on saying, well, the next movie he's gonna make, will you make a movie called, featuring a cheetah? So he came up with a movie called, I think it was called Point Blank. It was a remake of another movie, but I said, is there a room for a cheetah in there? He says, it's funny that you mentioned that. But there is actually a character in the movie whose name is Cheetah. We do have a cheetah in this movie. And I was, I know it probably wasn't for Paladin, but I'm going with it. I'm going like he named it after Paladin.
Oh yeah.
And the best part about that is we got to interview the gentleman who played Cheetah in that movie.
Oh yeah, was he a Cheetah fan?
He was a Cheetah fan after he met him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to our good friend Daniel Hill. Actually, it's about time for me to go look him up to bring him back too. He's a fine actor. He's a really good actor. I think he sidestepped right now though. I think he pivoted, and I think he's running a wrestling organization from what I understand in Los Angeles. So I think that's what's going on. I think it's between acting. He's doing a little bit of acting, and he's running this wrestling league. Yeah. Kristen's saying a movie called A Cheetah Will Beat Ya. Yes, I agree. Or Maple Leaf Cheetah. Jennifer says hello, Kevin. Thank you, Jennifer, for that.
Hello, Jennifer.
Ice Lord is here. Glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're here because I've been, as you know, and you're sort of seem to be taken aback by that. But I am new to your channel, but I think you're one hell of a talented artist in your own right.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah, look. I've been on the tube for a couple of years now, and I've seen, most of us have. I have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of film reviews. I attempt to do film reviews. I attempt. I don't say I do. I say I attempt. Hi, Gina. Gina's Bizarro's Ghost is here. All right. Glad you're here. We're talking to our good friend Kevin Chaos. I guess that'll probably be my first question to you, real quick. Is how did you come up with the name Kevin Chaos?
Oh, I think it was just a thing. Like in middle school, I didn't want to use. Like I was thinking about what my punk rock name would be, because like the Ramones use the Ramones as their last name, and then the Sex Pistols have, their made up last names that they use. And I was just like, if I was in a punk rock band, what would my name be? And then when I started my YouTube and stuff, I didn't want to use my actual last name and put it out there like that. So I just use that.
Now that's really funny you mentioned punk rock because we were talking about that before you came on here. We were talking about the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. I say that they're good. Well, the Ramones were fine. The Sex Pistols were junk. But the most important American punk rock band, see if you know it. I'll be totally blown away if you do. If you know who I'm talking about, I will just like hell yes. You remember a band called The Avengers?
I don't. I think I've heard the name because people have brought it up talking about the actual like Marvel Avengers and like, oh, the punk rock band, but I've never heard them.
Yeah, yes, we're gonna talk a little horror too as well. Oh yeah, we talk about everything on this channel. Oh yeah. Um, well, I have a writer next week coming in, and he wrote about the Avengers lead guitarist, James Wilsey, and he played for the Avengers for many years, and then he went on to play for Chris Isaac, and he helped write the song, play the song "Wicked Game," which is Chris Isaac arguably his biggest song. Hey, Stephen, how are you, sir? Um, yeah, so we were talking about that. He's going to be here next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about James Wilsey, and of course, he had a rock and roll ending, right? Uh, but he had a, well, he was brilliant, and so we're going to be talking about that. So we're talking about punk rock music. Yeah, I'm a huge Avengers fan. I think that they toured with the Sex Pistols on their very first tour here in the United States.
Oh yeah.
hmm And hey, Ben Buster, welcome on in. Welcome on in. It seems like you have a following, sir. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm not surprised at all. So, is punk rock your favorite type of music?
Uh well, I listen to a lot of industrial music, and I listen to a lot of like post punk and stuff.
Uh, what kind of industrial do you listen to?
Like Nine Inch Nails and Tool and visual, auditory, sensory theater.
Okay, is Tool considered an industrial band?
Uh, they kind of went through an industrial phase a little bit. They're not so much now, but
Yeah, I've seen Tool, and I didn't never really equated them with industrial, but I guess like I know Ramstein, KFMDM, Babyland. Uh, geez, there's a Ministry.
oh yeah,
Ministry. Yeah. Uh, you know what? Why isn't Ministry ever talked about anymore, Kevin?
I really don't know.
I know you know who Ministry is.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, uh,
That's a bang. They put out some banging records.
yeah, yeah. There's actually a YouTube channel that I watch. Oh, I can't think of the name of it, but they talk a lot about like English bands and stuff from the late '70s and early '80s.
Yeah, the English. It's funny. It's like if you sort of feel sorry for the English bands because man, oh man, it seems like every time there's an English band that comes up with any sort of success, right? I mean, they're doing really well in Britain. They're conquering all the worlds there, and then then they're told that they're nothing until they conquered England. They conquer England and the Europe, and then they're told that they're nothing until they play over the United States. They get
Oh
over here, they get over here in the United States, and then they're told that basically they're nothing unless they're bigger than the Beatles. Every English band that ever comes to the U.S., it always seems like all the music magazines immediately slap the comparisons on. Will this be the next Beatles?
yeah,
And I feel bad for those bands.
yeah.
Uh,
And a lot of those bands, like, if it doesn't matter if they were on top of the pops over in England, like, unless they get onto the Billboard charts over here, like, they don't mean anything.
yeah, and it's not fair. It's really
No.
not fair because I've seen a lot of good English bands come over here, and they get slapped with that comparison. It's like are you gonna be the next Beatles? And it's just like, why can't they just be who they are?
Oh,
Why can't they be Supergrass? Or why can't they be Garbage? Or why can't they be the Cranberries or the Cranes or whoever it is, right? Why
yeah.
can't they just be the best that? Because the Beatles is never going to happen again for anybody.
No. No.
It's never going to happen again at all. I mean, even the biggest stars today, they still pale in comparison to what the Beatles were back in their heyday. So
Oh yeah, and the way that things are with the internet and everything now, like there's no way that a single band could have that kind of reach. It's like with the television movies and stuff. Like before, if something was on TV, everybody knew what it was. But now, like hardly anybody even watches actual TV.
See, Jennifer saying David Johansen is her favorite punk rock and lounge singer. Yes, he's very good. Ice Lord mentions it's great you mentioned Babyland. Saw them first at the Viper Room in L.A. and met the guys. Great band, great dudes. Hell yeah, Babyland is all that. That's a band that should be a lot bigger than they are. They're our freaking amazing band. Oh my gosh, crazy good, crazy good. That's true industrial. Uh, well, disposable heroes of hypocrisy. They also started out as a industrial rap band. Michael Franti and Ronnie, I think it's Ronnie So, and then Franti broke off and did Spearhead. But when they were disposable heroes of hypocrisy, damn, crazy. Uh, the drummer is insane. Yeah, they're all insane. Babyland was really cool. They're a really cool band. But we're going to talk a little horror as well. We got to talk a
Oh,
little horror. So in order to do that, we need to go back way back when Kevin first started walking on the earth. So tell us a little bit about where you were born and raised at.
well, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and then I was raised there. I lived there for first 23 years of my life, and then I moved to Oklahoma, and that's where I live now. I met my wife down here, and got sucked in.
Yeah, it's funny you use that term too, considering that Oklahoma is part of Tornado Alley, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, hey, Scaps is here. Hey, welcome back, man. He was here last night. Awesome. Ministry really started as a pop band. Yeah, they did. You're right. They started out as an 80s synth band, and then they had a bowl of Wheaties and grew a pair and became monsters. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. They started out a little synth band, little thin ties and everything else, and then they grew up. Yep. So yeah, because Oklahoma, where in Oklahoma do you live at?
I live in Green Country.
Okay, good. Is that is
Yeah,
that is that near Tulsa?
yeah, yeah. I live near Tulsa.
All right. How do you like living there? Is there a lot of things to do and see there?
No, it's pretty boring.
Uh, wow.
Yeah,
I thought Tulsa was a popping little town.
I mean there's some stuff going on in Tulsa, but I live actually about like 40-45 minutes away, so I don't go up there a whole lot, like maybe once a month or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be having a Frida Kahlo exhibit coming up, and that sounds pretty cool. And then they're supposed to be having this series of like I don't know reenactors that are going to do some speeches. They're going to have like somebody doing an Allen Ginsberg speech and like a John Lennon one and stuff. So that stuff sounds pretty cool.
So you're a museum guy.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I'm not surprised by that because when I was watching your reviews, I just couldn't. You can't help but notice how articulate you are. Everything is well thought out, well researched. It's the best. You do the best reviews that I've seen. I've said
Well,
that before. I'll say that again. Um, you do the best reviews. I mean, I look at that and I'm like, man, if I was just even 10% as good as he was, I could live with that. Um, did you go to college? Did you did
I
you
mean, I have like I went for 3 semesters, and I was going to be an English teacher, and then I dropped out. But then I went to nursing school, and that's what I do now.
okay?
Yeah.
See, Kristen says that sounds cool. I know. He's gonna go see the Cajo exhibit. That's dope. That is really dope.
Oh yeah.
Uh, me and my wife, we used to go to the DIA all the time. We go there maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. Um, that's the one thing in Detroit that we really like to do besides going to Easter Market. Jennifer saying, what do you think of the Sinful Dwarf? Don't answer that question. If you answer that question, have you seen that movie, Kevin?
I haven't.
Okay, see, what she's trying to do here, she's trying to sucker you into this because she has a copy of this movie, and she's supposed to be passing it along to members of the community. It's supposed to be it's being mailed. It's been mailed like 5 or 6 times. You watch the movie, then you do review, then you mail it off to somebody else. She's trying to get you to sit there and say, "No, I haven't seen it," so she'll mail it to you. Stop it, Jennifer.
Oh no, I've seen it then.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie. No,
I feel like this is how the ring tape gets passed around.
No, I don't think Kristen and Kevin have seen it. Maybe we can send it to Kristen and Kevin. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So when you grew up, then, so you were pretty thoughtful then when you grew up. Were you big into reading and writing when you were a young man?
Yeah, it really was. I don't read nearly as much now, but
yeah,
just
I don't read that.
Time constraints, but I like to read.
I wouldn't laugh too far there, Mr. Steven, because you're in that chat room. She could also send it to you too. So I wouldn't, because I know Tochi, and she will send it to you. She'll make a copy just for you and send it to you. Yeah, nobody wants to see this info. No, nobody wants to see that. So you, what kind of writing did you do? Did you keep a journal, or did you write fiction, or?
Oh yeah, mostly fiction, like short stories and stuff. But I have a bad habit of like starting things and thinking like, oh, I'm going to write this short story. And then I get like 20 pages into it and I'm like, well, this isn't even a quarter of the plot that I wanted to do. This isn't a short story. And then just not finishing it.
Do you still write a little bit now for yourself? You still dabble in it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's a lot easier now because on the phone I have Google Docs and I have just a bunch of those. And that's how I do my videos too, is I have just tons and tons of different Google Docs that I just peck away at until something's getting close to being done and then finish it up.
Let's see. I think Jennifer's. I called Jennifer out. She's going like, "I'll get you, Patrick, and your little tabby house cat too." Hey, Casey. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Casey sent the Sinful Dwarf to Jennifer. I think that's how it went. He'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. And I like Isolars. I like his. I already own it for whatever reason. You're a smart man, Isolars. You're a smart man. Well done, sir. Well done. Well played. Yeah, I used to. What did you used to like to read when you were younger? Was that your first introduction to horror? Was books?
Probably. I mean, I always watched horror movies growing up. Like it was just something that I watched since before I can remember. But yeah, I like to read those. I like to read R.L. Stine Goosebumps books. I was in that book club where they'd send you 2 of them a month and like the bookshelves to put it in and stuff.
Well, if you still have them now, hang on to them. Those things are worth a lot of money.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
I sold them all at a garage sale, and I don't have any of them now.
Wow. No, I go to the library every Tuesday, and I have resellers there. People, they're looking for books, and they have some that are, there's some that look for, those type of books. They literally will run to the corner where they're at to look. They're the hottest book right now. I mean, the first thing they look for is the R.L. Stine books. I think there's only one guy who does histories, but the rest of the ladies, like there's like 7 or 8 women, they all rush down to that little corner looking for R.L. Stine books. It's crazy. I didn't know. I knew about. I didn't know. I got a little bit of idea about those from Joe the Horror Man. he collects a lot of those R.L. Stein books too, and the videotapes and whatnot. And I saw that, and I'm going like, wow, I did not know that there's such a market for it. But lo and behold, so I asked some of the girls that that ladies that go there, says what makes it so popular? Says they're everybody wants them. You always are looking for them. And the earlier the books, the more expensive they are. So it's crazy, and the
Yeah,
movies too. Hey, there's Darian right there. Thank you coming in. How are you, sir? You're probably still in Georgia, I do believe, right? Uh, yeah, Darian. He is he lives both here and he also in Germany. He knows Germany by the back of his hand, and he does tours over there. Beautiful videos too, man. Really beautiful. Um, it's great channel. Um, I'm always behind it because of time difference. But um, because it's like 5 or 6 hours. They're 5 or 6 hours ahead of us. So R.L. Stein. That's not generally the writer I always hear people talk about when they first cut their teeth. But if people really thought about it though, they probably would come back and sit there and say, yeah, that is probably the first thing I got my introduction to horror with.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
yeah,
feel like R.L. Stein's like the on ramp to Stephen King. Like it just kind of eases you onto that path.
yeah, I that's the see again. It's like I didn't realize how strong those books were because whenever I thought of R.L. Stein, I thought just kids. Like okay, this is like like for like Encyclopedia Brown for the young set. Like okay, it could be a ghost in the closet, and it'll turn out to be some guy with a can on his foot. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that those books were pretty stiff. They had some pretty good stories in there.
Oh yeah, and he had wrote ones for a little older kids too. He wrote the Ghosts of Fear Street and then the Fear Street, and I think the Fear Street were targeted more towards like teenagers. I didn't really get into those because by that time I was reading, you know.
Was Stephen King your first introduction as far as that goes too for the next step up?
Uh, Probably as far
Yeah,
as horror books go. Yeah, I
I
think.
read Robert Bloch. I read him. I read uh, Campbell. I read a lot of other horror writers at the time. I mean, I read Stephen King as well, but then then I moved on to Dan McKimron, Dean Koontz, Peter Straub. Um, so I read a wide variety, but I mean Stephen King was my introduction as far as the books go. Um, but as far as horror went, I was a fan of the old radio shows. They had
Oh yeah.
the CBS Mystery Theater. That was the first thing I listened to that got me into horror. And then I would listen to some of the old radio programs, the Inner Sanctum or Suspense or any one of those that was just that would and erase the hair on the back of your neck, listen to it on the radio
Oh
because
yeah.
your imagination was it would develop it. That's one good thing about people when you read is they develop their imagination. It gets developed a lot faster by reading, because then you can actually envision what you're reading. You can see it in your mind's eye. Um,
Yeah, and those old radio plays have that same effect where it's like, you know, you're imagining what's going on and like, they have the Foley sounds and stuff and but it's like it just helps you imagine like what's actually going on.
now I have to, this is some of the same stuff I asked a lot of other creators, but when you got to high school or whatnot, I mean, yeah, is that when you started watching horror movies, or was that something you watched together? Did you watch movies with your parents or your brothers and sisters?
Oh, I can't even remember when I started watching horror movies way before I was in high school. Like when I was a little kid, I'd sneak. My grandparents would record like everything off of television because they had cable and they'd have it set up with the timer to record all the shows and stuff that they wanted. And so we'd go into the den and I'd like go through those big cases of VHS tapes where they're all recorded, and just find something and pop it in and watch like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie or something like that that I wasn't supposed to be watching.
Yeah, before, what isn't it always like this? Your parents are sitting there saying, "No, I don't want you to watch any horror movies," and you always think to yourself, "Wow, they're just trying to keep me down." The man's trying to keep me down. And then you watch something like a Friday the 13th or a Phantasm or something like that, and then you're at night and it's all dark and your ass is scared shitless, and then you realize that your mom and dad wasn't trying to keep you down; they were trying to protect you.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think I feel like my mom was more trying to protect me from seeing boobs. like
What?
like that was a bigger deal than seeing the kills was.
Why you know what? Honestly, God, why is that? It's like there was an actress who once said this. She said this. She goes, only in America, can you show a slasher movie where a woman gets stabbed in the breast, right?
Mhm.
And it's rated R, but you show the same woman having her breast kissed, and it's rated X.
Yeah.
It should be the other way around, but it's not. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Oh, we can't. You can't show bare boot. Don't we can't watch that. It's naked. Okay, but go ahead and watch someone put a cleaver on somebody's head. Oh, that's all right. That's different.
Yeah, and if they showed it on cable or her getting stabbed in the breast, like they would bleep out the nipple, but they wouldn't bleep the knife going into her chest.
Right. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. Cover your eyes. Why are you scared of me watching the bloody murder? No, I'm scared of you seeing the nipples. It's like you know. And it's always the girl always getting naked, and the girls would be sitting there going like, "How come the guys aren't getting naked?" Don't ask me that. I'm not really into. I have no idea. Um, so what was the first horror movie that you saw that you can remember?
I don't even know.
I bet you cut your teeth on kaiju just like all of us. Godzilla.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
It seems like a lot for a lot of people. That's what they remember most. They remember it's either the Universal monsters or Godzilla's. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I loved the Universal monsters when I was a kid. Um, yeah,
Now, go
and
ahead.
Vincent Price movies. Uh, that was that's probably one of the earliest things that I was really like into was watching those Vincent Price movies.
Yeah, back then where he was taken more seriously. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Vincent Price's career was in two stages. There was the serious leading man roles from the 30s, 40s, early 50s, and
Hmm.
then it was like the Brady Bunch, stuff in the 70s. I mean, it's like it was sort of sad because if you go back and watch Vincent Price's serious roles, like in The Fly or Rebecca or Laura, maybe been Laura. I mean, he was a very good serious actor.
Yeah, he was really good. And then like later on, it was just more pulpy, cheesy stuff that they were giving him. And he was still a strong actor. It was just like a lot more campy roles and stuff that he got.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, his other contemporaries, his other peers at the time,
Hmm.
Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, they all got serious roles. I can't remember any of those coming out and getting ham roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vincent Price. Yep. House of Frankenstein, hilarious House of Frankenstein. He did just about anything that had comedy, he did it.
Yeah.
That's what happened but that happened to another actor, but it worked out for him, and that was Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen was considered a serious actor as well. In
Hmm.
fact, he did Forbidden Planet back in 1956. Which is
Yeah,
one
that's
of
a
the
good movie.
That is a great movie. That is a freaking great movie. And he did that movie, and then lo and behold, he did serious movies all the way up to Airplane. And after Airplane, it was like, oh, that guy, that's all he got was all comedy roles.
Oh
But
yeah,
I think he was okay with that. I think he embraced that, and I think he was just, for one thing, obviously he was getting paid. You
yeah.
know, it's a lot better to go out there and do a silly comedy and make $1 million off it than making $30,000 as a guest star on Streets of San Francisco.
Oh yeah. And hey, Repossessed is probably my favorite Exorcist sequel.
I didn't see that. I saw the scene in Scary. I think it was Scary Movie 2, where James Woods came in as the priest.
Oh yeah, with the
Oh my
flies. Yeah.
god, yeah, that was funny as hell. I mean, who knew James Wood was so funny? But yeah, he was. That was pretty awesome. So there you are. You're a teenager now. So what's next for you as far as horror films go? Did you watch any movies that scared you? Yes, that's right. Leslie Nielsen was a great Canadian actor. Canada has so many great actors.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's a very talented country.
Yeah. If they're yeah, and it's crazy because it like there are so many comedians that are from Canada, and then like even with like YouTube and stuff, there's so many people on YouTube that are from Canada, and I feel like some of that might be because people have more experience doing production design and stuff because there are so many movies filmed up in Canada.
There really is.
Yeah.
Scaps is saying Vincent Price, Last Man on Earth, was so influential. You are dead. You are so right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because that influenced Omega Man, and then George Romero doing Night of the Living Dead. So it basically inspired the entire zombie subgenre.
Uh, what do you think? What do you think, in your opinion? What was the one movie that started the slasher movement? In your opinion?
Probably the Peeping Tom, probably.
Oh man, that movie doesn't get talked about at all. But that movie, I think it destroyed that director's career, if I'm not
It did,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he ever worked again after that.
I don't
And
think
it
so
really
either.
never got the respect that it deserves until after he had passed away.
Yeah, yeah, they were too creeped out by that. He got blacklisted.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's right.
he was a little too ahead of his time there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, extremely so, because he always saw from this point of view and everything else through the mask. That
Yeah.
was cutting edge back then. Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a really good answer from a movie that isn't talked about very much. I'm not even. I wonder if that even got released. That's gonna. I have to ask that question. I wonder if it got a home release. I've never seen it. I've never seen it out in the wild.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
I mean, not even on any of the public domain movies. Wow, that's crazy. That's a good answer. Most people always say Psycho, but I had a feeling that you were not going to say that. That's why I asked. I said I have a feeling he's going to come up with something different. Um, so was there a movie that actually scared you? That actually had you like looking over your shoulder?
Uh, I think probably the thing that scared me the most when I was a teenager was watching a documentary on oh, what is his name? In Chicago.
Oh, Speck, Richard Speck.
No, the clown.
Oh, Ed Gein.
Not Ed Gein, the what was his name?
I know he did. I know he dressed up like a clown too. And I know Richard Speck killed those 11 nurses in Chicago.
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a documentary on John Wayne Gacy, and that freaked me out because at that time I was right in his like what he looked for in his victims. And so I
Yeah.
remember like watching that by myself at night, and then I went outside and smoked a cigarette, and I was like looking around because it was dark and there's nobody around.
That was probably the first cigarette you smoked too. You probably go. How old were you when that happened?
Uh, I think I was probably 17.
Yeah. So I'm a non-smoker. I'm a non-smoker. What's that? Who's that? Oh, fuck that. Let me go grab a smoke. Says I'm gonna stand out here and look for that guy. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one to get. John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, that's a. But I thought when you said Chicago, I'm thinking Richard Speck too. That guy was
Oh
some.
yeah.
And he was a nurse, right? Wasn't he? No, he killed nurses, but I'm not sure he was a nurse, but killed those all those nurses. That's what, it's funny. It's funny you never really hear that talked about either. When you hear all these killers, do you think that we idolize these serial killers too much?
I I think I think some people do. Yeah. I mean, with all the documentaries and like court dramas and stuff that plays out on TV, and apparently there's been this whole thing on TikTok where kids are like filming these videos where like these serial killers or their boyfriend or like mass shooters and stuff. They're even starting to idolize some of those, and that's just crazy.
I think TikTok is a cesspool.
Oh yeah, no, that's not.
I think it's like a alternative version to Twitter, but they're both. It's like I don't care if shit's colored black or green. It's still shit at the end. And I think that's really comes down to it. Is like TikTok may be for the younger generation, but it's just a younger version of Twitter with wow, I never even heard it. I didn't heard about that. I mean, why would only in America, right?
Oh yeah,
Only, yeah.
right.
I'm going to go ahead and idolize a mass killer. But we've done that with over Charles Manson. I mean, we made Charles Manson into an immortal star by keep on talking about him. And I can't imagine what that's like for the family of all those of the Tate LaBianca families. I just can't imagine what it's like.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even escape from it. You can't even have a chance to even have a normal life. Because every year there's somebody coming up there. I'm going to write a book about what?
yeah.
I mean, you can only write about the damn thing only a certain amount of time. Is Yeah, but Charles Manson wore mismatched socks in 1974 on May 20th. I got to write a book about that. Um, Yeah, I just was wondering if you thought that too. If you thought that we idolize our mass killers too much.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
um, do you have any kids yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I have two kids. I have a daughter. She's 8, and then my son is 4.
So when they get to that age, are you going to let them watch? Are you going to be as Are you going to let them watch what you watched as a child, or you think that what we watched as kids? I don't think it compares to what they're showing today, right?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff. You really gotta watch them on the internet and on YouTube and stuff.
No doubt about that. They don't. Your daughter's not on YouTube though.
Well, she uses it to. No, she plays video games mostly.
Yeah, that's really something though. I mean, I do think that parents, as a parent, do you think parents do enough to protect their kids from outside sources? I mean, a lot of times, they give them video games and let them have the YouTube, and it's acting like a babysitter, like an electronic parent, so to speak. Do you think that there's a lot of inherent danger in doing that?
Oh yeah, I think especially if they have unfettered access to it and you don't have parental controls on there, and if they have it in their room, then those are issues. Like it needs to be in a central location where you can see what they're doing. You need to know what they're doing online.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. The last couple of days, we've been talking about that because, it seems like, it's true. It's like parents don't really monitor what their kids watch. They really truly don't. I mean, I wouldn't let my kid, watch YouTube by itself at all unless I had his password. I would have to have a password in order for that to happen. And I would definitely encourage them, like the minute somebody says anything inappropriate, you let me know. I mean, because there's a fine line between real life and make believe. And for a lot of kids, that gets blurred.
Yeah, I wouldn't let my kids sign up for a YouTube account. Isn't there an age limit?
It's supposed to be 13.
Yeah.
But 13 is like, wow, if I could put down on my channel that no one under 18 could see it, unless they could verify their age, then I'd be happy with that. But any kid can be anybody. They can sign on there and then they can go anywhere and be anywhere. There's a few kids that are floating around in the horror community. I know that much. There's some teenagers, but man, oh man, you just as soon as you identify them, you make sure you treat them like if it was your own kid. That's how I look at it. If I see a teenager on here, I just think of it as my son or daughter, and treat it us. And then if I see somebody got a hand, then I comment on that too. Don't be inappropriate. Hey, Mr. Dan and Horror, how are you, sir? So let's get back to a little bit more fun with horror. Now you're a film collector, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's funny how I have all my movies because I have those big plastic totes and I keep all the cases in there. And then I
okay.
keep all of my DVDs like in those giant black binders, like the adult section at a video store.
Oh, so you've been shopping at Vinegar Syndrome, then I see, right? Yeah, that blows my mind. Every time they say, they'll go like, "Hi, Jamie, happy birthday again."
Hey, happy birthday!
Yeah, she's running. I'm sure she's running out the door to have dinner somewhere. That's awesome. I hope you get a birthday cake, Jamie. She's one of the nicest ladies. So, definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because it blows my mind. You go to Vinegar Syndrome, and it's like, okay, let's see what they got on sale. And you go, and for me, I know this. For a lot of people, they don't know it. Because it's like they get there and they see some of these movies, and they're going like, so who is Taboo a good horror film? Excuse me. It's like, what was that again? This Taboo, it says 1 through 4. Is that a good horror film? What do you know about that? Well, I know enough to tell you not to get it. How about that? if you're oh, she's working on a Britney Spears cover.
Oh, I'm sure that'll turn out good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Jamie, you'll sound 100% better than Britney. I'm not. I don't. Though there is one song of Britney's I do like. Though I like to hear her sing it live before I would give my whole my whole hell yeah. But I like that song she sings called "Toxic." That's a cool song. That's a cool beat. But I like to hear her sing it a cappella before I would sit there and say, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know how that would go. I think that song.
Oh my God, I think that'd be a different kind of horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear those Kevin Federline songs?
No.
He put out a rap album. Everybody said how horrible it was, but it was like the actual songs were just Britney Spears beats. Like it sounded exactly like her songs, but with him rapping over it.
That's a name I haven't heard of in years. Is he still alive?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, you hadn't heard about him. Hey, Hobbs. Hobbs is
I,
in the house.
I think he
Her
had
choice.
custody of their kids for a long time.
Yeah, she went off the rails deep,
Yeah.
didn't she? I
Yeah.
mean, she got involved in that crystal meth, man. That's what really screwed her up.
Oh, was that what she was doing?
Yeah, yeah,
That makes sense then.
yeah. David her
I didn't
head
know
and all
that.
that. Yeah, she just went off the rails. I feel sorry for her in a way. It's like, wow, she just never had control of her life after that. It's like, her father and her sister that just leashed off her. I do feel sorry for them, for her and Disney kids in general. I mean, that's something. Let me ask you this: being a father and everything else, but I mean, if somebody came up from Disney and said, your little girl looked like she'd be a perfect Musketeer, we're going to relaunch the Musketeers. Would you let them? Would you let them try it out if she wanted to, or would you sit there and say, no, not my kid?
No. No, I don't think I would let her do something like that. Definitely not for Disney. I mean, just there's so much there's so much just with child actors in general. Um, it's just a toxic industry that there's no place for children in that. And it's sad because there should be, when you think of like kids entertainment and stuff, that there should be a space that's safe for kids, and there's just not.
Hi, Tiffany. Uh, yeah, I don't, I think that's yeah, I think that's just that's a landmine. Is how many kids you see come out of there and they struggle and they crash and burn. Once their little starlight is get put out, they can't maintain a career.
Yeah.
A lot of times their parents will get a hold of their money and spend it. It's amazing to see how many of those young stars, when they go get their money that they've earned, their parents have already spent it. It's like that's that just it's maddening. It's like that money should be put away for them, and I don't think any parent should have access to it. That's why you have managers for or whatever or protection. Like yeah, I mean I knew that there was an agent for a basketball player named Allen Iverson, and Allen Iverson is just a really immature human being. It's just how it is, and his agent really had his best interests in heart, and he took like $30 million and out of his career, his money, and he put it into an account that Iverson can't get it till he's like 40 or 42 or something like that. He can't have access to it. He wanted the guy to have a chance to mature enough to when he got it, he would be able to hang on to it. He just wasn't very responsible when he was younger. It's almost like that for parents too. It's like, it's like, yeah, your kid's making the money, but we're going to put it in a secured account for them. So when they turn 18, they'll be able to have it if they want it, but no parent should have access to it.
Yeah, that's one of the issues with having parent managers too. Like, because if you have a manager outside of the family and they can handle all of that stuff and you know put away money, then that's that's a better way to do it. But at the same time, if you have somebody outside of the family, how much can you really trust them? I mean, with what child stars are, well adjusted now that they're grown?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it's a whole different type of horror, isn't it? In a sense.
Yeah.
I'm sending a subliminal message out. I don't know how it'll be received, but I'll try it. I'll probably get told no, no, but we'll
What are
try.
you doing?
Um, did you ever watch Instagram, the reels?
Oh, I haven't really. I've stumbled on them. I don't really do a whole lot on Instagram, but
Well, they have this little trend, right? They have this trend, and I love it. People take their dogs to the sound of a helicopter, dogs and cats, and they raise their dog or cat up like a helicopter to the background. It's really cute, actually. So I keep telling Tiffany I want her to do that with her dog and post a video on it. I would do it myself, but I can't lift the cheetah up. So yeah, okay, let's go back to, I mean, we're talking some, I don't know how we got into the serious stuff, but you know what, though, I'm glad we are. I'm glad we are, though, because it's something I've been actually meaning to do, and it's like, here we are, we're talking to a father, and I get a little bit more perspective because I don't have any kids myself. So it's interesting to see how you would react to certain scenarios. But what was the first movie that you actually bought for your collection? Do you remember that?
I think it might have been Friday the 13th, the first one on VHS. I think that might have been the first one because I remember distinctly when I bought that and I was super excited, like, "Woo, yeah!" Because I'd never seen the first one because all the sequels and stuff they would play on cable on like TNT and stuff, but I hadn't seen the first one, and I was excited, and then I watched it and I'm like, where the hell is Jason?
Yeah. Everybody's waiting for him to come up there, and you keep hearing about that and everything else, and you get that, and all of a sudden there's no Jason. It's like, well, I thought it's supposed to be Jason. Well, there is, but you have to see the second one. The second one, that's where Jason comes in, and then Jason, everybody knows it. He doesn't come in until the third one, and it's like, oh, okay.
He doesn't get that mask till the third one. He had that burlap sack on his head.
Now, when you were buying those movies, what did your parents think? Did they give you your blessing? Did you say, okay, as long as you know what you're getting into, or were they a little bit more like, okay, whatever you want to watch?
Yeah, I think they were just okay with it. I mean, yeah.
Is your wife a big horror movie fan as well?
No,
No,
she's not. She likes like period dramas and stuff, historical dramas.
Hey Al, how are you? Al's coming in saying, "What's up, fiends? What fiends? Hey, I used that term first, Mister. Don't be taking my material. God, you're gonna have so much fun with that. We had somebody come in on Al's channel yesterday. He was doing a live stream with Echo, and they're doing Tuesday. Say that 3 times fast. And then this two people came from a channel, and they basically accused him. They basically accused him of taking their format. We were doing this first, and you go over their channel, and they have 68 subs, so they haven't been on Tube very long, but yet somehow, some way, someone stole their format of doing a podcast on movies on Tubi. And I was just
movies really... on Tubi. Everybody does movies on Tubi.
Well, I guess not, because I guess not, because him and Echo got jumped yesterday saying you're taking our format, and yeah, it's just like, wow. I've never had anything like that happen to me since I've been on the Tube, like that. I've never had that happen. And honestly, I guess unless you're lifting somebody's entire format, the way they lay out their show, the language they use, the movies they show. I mean, you could tell when someone has stolen a format. Yeah, you could do that. That's not cool. I admit that's not cool, but that's not what happened. That's not what the case was yesterday. And these guys just came in and acting like fools, and it's just like, wow, I've never seen that, and I'm glad I hadn't. I didn't want to. So now we're having fun with it. Al saying all I do is copy me. Thanks, Al. Recognize, baby. Recognize. Society. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Since when did you start your YouTube channel?
I started Back in October. October is when I started it.
October of last year?
Last year, yeah.
Holy cow. Wow. See, I was right about your content because you're over 1,000 already.
Yeah. That was
But I
exciting.
think, yeah. Okay, now Mr. Bones is throwing it in there. Mr. Bones is sitting there, sup bat with a hat that hangs with a cat. Okay. Now Mr. Bones is saying, be original, Pat. I am. I got a Dr. Pepper in my refrigerator. Okay. That probably went over everybody's head. Yeah. Wow. What did you have were you going to be a horror channel from the very get-go? How did you come up with the name of Haunted by Horror?
Well, I was trying to think of something that would fit the aesthetic that I was going for, because like my logo and everything, I knew I wanted to do like a pre-code horror comics kind of look, and I thought that Haunted by Horror sounded like it could have been one of those like EC comics or something.
Oh man, EC Comics. Man, those are awesome, weren't they? Do
Oh,
you have any original ones, or you have the reprints?
no, just the reprints.
Man, yeah, those books are so ahead of their time.
Oh yeah.
That series almost got comic books canceled in this country.
Yeah.
There was cancel culture in the 50s, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, there was.
Yes, there was. A lot of people don't know this, but you know they know Mad Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
William Gaines used to own and run Mad Magazine, but not very many people know that he also created and ran EC Comics, and those comics were years ahead of their time. I mean, I think I easily would sit there and say they could hold their own in today's world easily, in terms of story and violence.
Yeah, a lot of them could. Yeah.
Let's see, everybody saying hello. Yeah, I agree. I mean, how many of those remakes did you get, or the reprints? I don't see them out very often.
Yeah, I only have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
you just don't see them out. Even
yeah.
the reprints are rare now. I don't know if I'm not sure if even the reprints are even printed anymore.
Yeah.
Were you a big comic books fan too, as well, growing up?
Yeah. I mean, I was exposed to comics a lot. My little brother's dad, he was too into comics. Like his room just used to be mountains of comic books stacked up, and like all his free time was spent in the comic book store. And yeah, but yeah, so we went to comic book conventions and stuff when I was a kid, and it's a different world than what they're like now, because now it's all about actors and stuff. Like back then, it was comic book artists, and it wasn't nearly as crazy. They weren't as inaccessible as they are today.
Yeah, you know what? Some of them. I mean, some of them are still out there if they go to conventions. Like
Yeah.
I got to meet Steranko. I got to meet him at a con, and I got to meet George Perez at a con. But I mean, Steranko was one of my heroes. That guy drew the most beautiful covers ever. He used to do all the covers for the Shadow books, all the novels. He used to go over there and do the drawings for that. Just an amazing artist. But he was fiery. He didn't suffer fools too much. If he got on this bad side, he'd be more apt to pop you on your lip.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I love the Shadow. Yeah, I used to when I was younger, I'd listen to that radio show all the time, The Shadow. Um, and my grandma got me on tape, and then later on CD, like all kinds of old radio shows and stuff, and I'd listen to them at night when I was going to bed because I didn't want the TV to be on, but I wasn't ready to go to bed. And so I just lay there and listened to like The Shadow and the Green Hornet, and I had
Yeah.
Dickerson's, and I had what was that one with the witch with the
Oh,
cat?
yeah. The one that Kim. No. Oh boy, I know what you're talking about. I Married a Witch with Veronica Lake.
And she had that cat named Lucifer.
Yeah. What a terrible name to name a kitty.
Yeah.
What the hell? I was a dog person who wrote that shit. Yeah, I think it was called I Married a Witch. I think it started out as a movie first with Veronica Lake, and then it went on to become a radio program. That's how it really went. It always went like, well, before it always started as a radio show, and then it would go into a movie. And very rarely did that ever reverse, where there would be a movie and then it went into a radio or TV show, and then it went into a like Have Gun Will Travel started as a TV show, and then it went into a radio show. And by that time, it was always the reverse.
Oh,
Yep. So
The Witch's Tale. That's what I looked
is
it
that,
up.
is that the one that was based on the movie I Married a Witch, or is that totally different?
No, it's a totally different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't remember the cat being named Lucifer in the movie. But if you go I Married a Witch and you take a look at Veronica Lake, you understand why he married a witch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was glamorous.
She had that hairstyle.
Oh, she's a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Yeah, I did the same thing too. There's a channel on the tube, the late night radio show, and they play all the old radio shows. I mean, they play them all. They have like a live chat, and the thing's popping. I mean, there's hundreds of people in there listening. I think radio dramas. I interviewed a radio drama show last week. The producer, the director.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
So I mean, I think that it's coming back. There's another one I'm hopefully going to be able to get for next month. And I want to say, they say VHS is coming back, vinyl records coming back. I really like to see radio come back.
Yeah, like I think with podcasts and stuff, like I'm surprised there hasn't been more of that, of people doing like the old style radio dramas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a lot of fun. You can actually make it very scary. If you have a good script, good cast. I mean, CBS Mystery Theater, man, I can't tell you how many times I'd be listening to that, and then I'd be down underneath the blankets, and you hear that creaky ass door, and E.G. Marshall going, "Pleasant dreams." It's just like, man, all right, I'm scared shitless, and then the next day you're there again listening to it. So, so what did you collect comics other than the EC comics, or were you into superheroes at all?
Yeah, I was into the DC superheroes. I never really got into the Marvel stuff because the way those were written, like the way Stan Lee writes his comics, was just the one-liners and stuff never really resonated with me the way it does with some people. And so
early Marvel comics are not very good.
No.
They're just not. I never was a Steve Ditko fan. I hated his art. I thought his art was always, I don't know, it just never grabbed me. But the writing in those books were just absolutely like they're writing for a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And every single hero that got their powers, not only did they get their superpowers, but they got a super wise ass mouth with it too. It's just like on everybody, well, maybe not Mr. Fantastic, but everybody else always, I can't believe this has happened, but look at that dork down the street. It's like one-liners for every single person you create.
Yeah. It's like, talk about watch, more like I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just he's
just punning on everything, and it's like, why? It's like,
yeah. So what kind of where do you go hunting at for your movies?
I go. Usually, I go to Dollar Tree and get those $1 movies.
Are you doing Dollar Tree Theater yet?
No.
Oh, we got to talk about that. You got to do Dollar Tree Theater.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Dollar Tree Theater is the bomb. Uh, our friend Hobbs Horror, I think he's still in here. He created Dollar Tree Theater, and it's awesome. You go to Dollar Tree, you grab a bunch of movies, you come home, and then once a week you do a movie review from one of that stack, and doesn't matter what the movie is, you just review it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
or
Yeah. That
you
definitely
you
that's like some,
see
go ahead.
you will review it. I will mangle it. That's the difference. See, yeah. Speaking of reviewing, how did you do you write your reviews out or do you just let it go on the fly?
I no. I write it down.
Why are your reviews so good?
Well, what I do, I write a script out for it, and like look into uh, the history of it and read interviews with like the cast and crew and stuff are really good uh, sources to look into for writing reviews, and then I'll use the script to make the video, and then if there's anything like just on the fly that I come up with that I want to say, then I'll just say that, and then just go back to the script and go through what I've written. So I'd say probably about 80% of my video is pre-written, and then like 20% is just off the cuff.
So you recommend people actually you recommend people write a script before they go on? Because I don't. I just I'll have the movie database page up so I can look at some of the actors or the cast. But do you think it's better to write it all down before you do it? Does it help you focus better?
It helps me focus because I find when I don't have something to go off of, then I start to I start to stumble my words and have a hard time thinking of what it was that I was trying to say, and just articulating exactly what I'm trying to express.
And how do you pick your movies that you review? I mean, is there a system to it? Do you have like a watch stack, or do you just go through, or do you just go on your gut instinct on what you want to review? Like how many movies do you own right now personally?
How many movies do I own?
Yeah,
Uh,
approximately.
I don't know. Last time I counted, it was like 1,400, but I've bought some since then. Um,
Damn,
but
14.
but a lot of that is from buying those big like movie packs. Like I bought uh, one that has like classic horror movies that has like 100 movies in it.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Multi,
packs like that.
you have to go like this. You have to go like multi-pack mania.
Yeah.
I have a multi. This is a multi-pack mania. This is the one I'm drawing my Dollar Tree Theater movie off of.
Oh yeah.
I put four of the movies up for people to vote on. So whoever because I like classic movies too,
Yeah.
and I don't want to just do all the latest things. So I said I'm going to go and do I'm going to have people vote on classic movies. So um, yeah, that's what I did. So I grabbed one of those. Yeah, those big ones. Those like the ones like I have one that has 50 movies in it. And then I think the rest of it, I think they're pretty much 12. They're like pretty much just like 12 movies. Like the Puppet Master, I have 9 plus Killjoy. I have 3. It's like a multi-pack. That's a good way to do it. Um, but they're the really good ones. I mean, there's some they can find at Dollar Tree, but man, a lot of those, man, they keep recycling the same movies. You're gonna have like 4 multi-packs, and you're gonna be guaranteed to see Night of the Living Dead on every single multi-pack.
Oh yeah. Night of the Living Dead, the Atom Age Vampire, the Bat. Like there's
The,
the
the
same
bat,
ones over and over.
yeah, yeah. Al's one popular guy. That's the bat. Yeah, and the Terror. What else is there? Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou. That's always on there. Yeah, even if it's just a comedy one, I Love Lucy. The Bickersons, the Mr. and Mrs. North, and then Night of the Living Dead. Well, I didn't know that was a comedy. Well, there you go, right?
No.
We're putting it on the multi-pack anyway. Yeah, what about that? What about that real quick? How about your thoughts about Winnie the Pooh and going public domain?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do with that. I I feel like, I guess the look of it, he's wearing like overalls or something, isn't he? I want to see how the effects are gonna be in that movie. That's my main thing. Is like, what are these characters gonna look like in this movie?
Echo saying that he found a multi-pack at Dollar Tree today. It had the Adam Age vampire on it, and the screaming skull was on it too.
Oh yeah, the screaming skull.
Man, you know what? You just wonder if any of the relatives are still around, right? My
Yeah.
dad went to the movie just to see how many times their movie gets sold. When they talk about the best-selling movies of all time, you think of, well, can we count the multi-pack movies? Because if that's the case, then I'm going with the Night of the Living Dead as being the most bought movie in American history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy. Now you say you do like again, I was gonna ask you when you do your reviews. Now, how do you do that? Is there a method to your madness that you can share?
I just review whatever I want to talk about. Like, if I find it interesting, I'm going to talk about it. And then I try to do some more relevant stuff too. Like I did all the Scream movies because the new Scream movies are coming out, and but
I'm gonna put you
really
on. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot. So, do you think there are certain channels that have just utterly, completely powdered those two movies to death, Scream and Halloween?
Yeah. I was gonna say right now, like, I need breaks sometimes.
Look at there's Mr. Bones. See Mr. Bones right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. God, those guys, what they do, right? When I'm doing an interview, him and Casey will come on there and they'll slap a stew train together and they'll run it while I'm doing the interview, and it makes me laugh. Yeah, is there such thing as being? I mean, to me, I feel sort of bad for him because I'm like, I totally respect that. There's the stew train right there. Let's see. Echo says, "Hey Bones, does stew train have good food on it?" God. Okay. I totally respect that they're super fans, and but do you think, to me, I feel sort of sorry for him because I'm thinking to myself, going like, I can appreciate the fact that everybody has a favorite movie to death. Like I love Starship Troopers, right?
Mhm.
But I watch that movie maybe like once a year, if that, right? But I still my favorite movie. Do you think it's, if you, I mean, I don't know, to me, it's like anticipation for a movie is really key. I'm going to ask that to the chat too. I mean, when you see a movie coming up and you get excited for it to get here, don't you want to be organically happy when it gets here? I mean, without having all the hype and hoopla and trailers and spoilers and everything stacked upon it. Don't you just want to say, like for me, it would be like Hatching. I want to see Hatching really bad. But no one's dumped all over it. No one has made it a Hatching train or anything else like that. It's just going to get here when it gets here, and I'm really happy for it. But do you feel like that? You don't think some fans they like it a little too much? Saying it politely.
I don't know if they like it too much. What I will say is, like, for me, I've never been one that's like really, really getting into like waiting for a movie to come out and like trying to find scripts and leaks and
Yeah.
everything that I can find out about the production. I'm
Mhm.
more like hear about something and then I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm excited that that's going to come out. And then, when it gets closer to the time, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go see that.
I just feel bad because I'm poking a little some general fun at it, but to me, it's like I would sit there and say, like, by the time the movie gets here and you go see it, there's going to be absolutely positively nothing for you to be surprised on. You're going to know everything that happened, and how is that how does that make the movie enjoyable? You know, it's like to me, it's like I want to see what happens when time is right. I don't want to look high and low on the internet to see see what Courtney Cox had for lunch. You know,
Yeah.
I just don't want. I just don't want to do that because I want to be surprised. I want to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah, like
but
I don't need to know that she had a light lunch so that she's probably filming a death scene that day because
right.
she didn't want to eat too much.
You know what?
Like that kind of
I gotta
stuff.
dash over right now. I gotta cut this interview short right now so I can start a stream to report that. Right? I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's just too much, and I feel a little sad because it's like there's a lack in today's society with all the internet sites and what have you. It just seems to be like by the time the movie gets here, nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised. Everybody's expecting to see what they get, and then if they don't. And the other thing I don't really like too much either is I don't like these movies catering to fans, like fan service.
Yeah.
You don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. I'm going to watch your movie regardless what you put. I don't. You don't need to put me. We put 20 Easter eggs in the movie. You know what? Save that shit for April on a backyard because I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. I want to be surprised.
Yeah,
You know,
I heard somebody say today they refer to them as member berries, where it's like berries where they're like, remember this? That was something that happened in other movies.
right.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. I don't want that though. It's like if you have a referral, like like I was watching the last Friday the 13th, the one came out in 2009,
Mhm.
and there was a couple of things I noticed right off the bat. The name of the sheriff. I said, okay, that's cute. Peter Brackey. Who did the documentation of the movies. That's cute. That's a homage. Or they drive by Cunningham's dry cleaning. I get it. That's cool. That's all right. But you don't necessarily need to do that all the time there with it, for me to not, oh, that was so cool. I don't really necessarily need that in a movie. I just want
Yeah,
the
like they
movie.
don't have to live at the corner of Craven and Carpenter Way, and like you
Right,
know, and
right.
Los Angeles Kruger and
It's just like
like.
it's sometimes like that. Sometimes like that. It's too broad. It's too much of a joke.
Mhm.
And it's like, wow, I don't want it to be a joke. I want it to be organic. I want you to be, we know who
Yeah.
Wes Craven is. We know what he means to the franchise. You don't need to hit us over the head with it. Wink, wink. It's like, no, just come up with a good story. That's all.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah,
make
like
it just,
every new character doesn't have to be related to a character from a previous film. That's
yeah,
that's something that they overdo all the time in movies. Like with the Star Wars movies, like why did she have to be related to the Emperor? That ruined it.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
first movie, it was fine. She was nobody. Like that's the way it should have been. But
Yeah, all they did, they just remade the first three Star Wars.
yeah.
Do you think Disney? What do you think about the Disney machine, Kevin? I mean, good or bad or indifferent?
Well, I'm waiting to see how much my check is going to be before I answer that question. Because they'll own us all eventually. So
Yeah,
I don't want to say anything bad now, and that might diminish my returns later on.
yeah. I'm waiting for them to buy. I'm waiting for them to buy Elon Musk. Not Musk buying them. I expect it the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's a monopoly and it should have been broken up, or is it just good business?
It probably should have been broken up by this point. I mean, because everything has just been getting smaller and smaller with fewer and fewer companies in control of things. Like how many companies are in control of all the media?
Six.
Like five.
Six. Five. I think it was six. Last I heard.
Is it
Yeah.
six?
Yeah.
Well, how long
Yeah.
ago was it that you heard though? Disney might have bought them by now.
That's true. That's true. It might have bought the number six.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's really and it's so freaking hideous. Like you can't even go. People, I hear people say, "I'm going to go to Disneyland," and I'm going, "That's awesome. I hope you and your family enjoy the trip." No, you don't understand. I'm going to Disneyland because I can't afford to take everybody else.
Yeah, like me and my spouse are going. The kids are going to stay here with grandma.
Yeah, yeah. We'll send you pictures. It'll be just like you're here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just basically do your reviews on instinct, huh? That's cool. What's your favorite genre of horror? Is it modern horror, throwback horror, creature features, extreme,
Uh,
independent horror?
I probably independent. I mean, if that's a genre.
So
uh,
so you're an ISC fan then?
oh yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Recognize. Now, what do you think about A24?
A24. I think they've opened up a discussion, um, more than anything, on what horror is, but I don't think they've brought as much to the genre as people give them credit for. I think really they're just retreading a lot of the old themes and modernizing it, and people think that,
It's all brand new.
yeah,
Yeah.
and really they're just recycling a lot of the things. Like the term elevated horror doesn't even make sense, because
Yeah.
what elevates that above something like the Creature trilogy, or the any of the Universal movies? What makes that more stimulating or deep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo's asking, what about international horror?
I like some international horror. I haven't really watched as much. Well, I mean, I guess I have watched quite a bit of older international horror, but yeah, I like. There's a lot more access now, recently, to like Korean horror and J horror and stuff than we had in the past.
Good. They've been delivering goods.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see The Sadness.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet either.
Man,
I've heard good and bad things about it. Like I've heard people say like, "Oh, this is brutal and it's great," and then I've heard other people say that like the essay stuff in it was just too much.
Yeah, but that's what though. I mean, yeah, you know what though. I don't, for the movie for what it is. I think that fits into the narrative of the movie. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be violent. I mean, come on. What movie? What zombie movie or infected movie? What movie isn't that way? I mean, they're always going to be that way. It's just, it's just like there's some filmmakers that are going to push the envelope a little bit, but it's basically all the one and the same. I mean, look at one of the most brutal scenes I've ever seen in a movie, right? Think about some of the most iconic things in a horror scene. One scene that always gets me, was that last scene of Night of the Living Dead, where Ben gets killed.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's 1968 in a black and white, and that scene right there is so freaking heartbreaking. It's
Yeah.
beyond heartbreaking. It's just like, it's disturbing. It's upsetting. It's just like, it makes you just, you just want to rage, because it's so unfair. It's so unjust.
Yeah.
And, and I see that, and then and it's like, wow, that happened, over, like I said, over 50 years ago.
Hmm.
And, so there's always been brutality in horror, always. It's just on the different levels, who's directing the story. And you know what, they get away with doing a little bit heavier than we do. I'm all for it. I mean, because in that respect. Now, I don't like torture porn. That I don't like. I don't want to see anybody sit there and suffer for 10 minutes, because some bear's eating them alive. I don't want to see that. But for a zombie movie, or an affected movie, you know what you're seeing before you get inside. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get brutality. So Mr. Bones is saying sadness is insane. Yeah, I heard that too. It's like the best. It's like the best Southeastern Asian horror since Train from Busan. What's the last 5 movies? Or give us 5 of your favorite movies that no one, that people probably wouldn't know about.
The probably. Let me see. I'm gonna say the Zombie Walks. Let's see. What are
The Sadness is on Shudder. If you have that, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I have Shudder.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad it's on Shudder. That means it'll get a home release. That's good. That's real good. I'm so glad it's not on Netflix, because we never see it.
yeah. Trying to think of movies that people wouldn't have heard of.
Well, I'm glad you're an ISD guy. I like that. It makes me happy. I like that. I always poke fun at, because I'm an ISC guy too, but I always like to poke a little fun at the A24 slappies.
Oh yeah.
But they make good movies too. I mean, I'm not gonna, I always have to put that disclaimer in there. It's like, I don't hate A24. I just think they're a little bit overhyped. But I mean, I agree with what you said, though. I think that a lot of people think that they're doing something new, and they really are not. See, Messiah of Evil.
That's a good movie.
Okay, there's a good one. Already out. I've seen Leon or someone post a copy that they bought. Really? Damn, that's probably bootleg, though. It's probably gonna be a bootleg, I bet. I would not be surprised, because that thing just hit. It just hit here. I guess I could go on eBay and take a look at it.
Yeah, it came out last week or the week before?
Was it? Did it get a home release? I didn't see. Okay. I wasn't sure, because I know some people that are showing off the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie and another one from Netflix, and I know that they didn't have a proper release. They got it from a bootlegger, and they pretty much said it too.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get movies from those bootleggers. Like,
yeah, for the Netflix movies, you know what? I used to be. I still am. I don't like pirates. I don't like piracy or stuff like that. I don't. But I gotta admit, man, it's like, with Netflix, it's like, it's almost to the point where you just have to sit there and say, you know what? If I get a bootleg from a Netflix movie, that's how that's how, if it happens, it happens. I think it's sort of wrong for them not to release it home market.
yeah.
It's all about control. Sean says he hopes the Sadness gets a Blu-ray release eventually. Yeah, I do too, and I hope they pack with some extras. I want to hear a commentary on that. It's starting to make some of these movies. Some of these movies are coming out. They're making old movies that were, like the Centipede or Serbian Film. They're starting to make those movies seem sort of normal by comparison now.
Oh yeah.
Those used to be the extreme movies, but now they're starting to be When you get a movie like The Sadness, like, wow, that's like the Serbian film on steroids. Does anybody have any questions for our guest, Kevin, before we let him go? Any questions? That you can have. He's got a big collection of films. What's new? What's your newest movie release? What's your newest review going to be? Newest release.
Actually, I'm doing a video right now that I'm working on editing about about the crimi genre of films, like just talking about that whole genre, because I don't think it. Do I?
What genre is it?
Crimi.
What's that?
It's the German kind of a precursor to giallo films. It's like the grandpa of slasher films. It's kind of a transitional genre between noir films and giallo films. A lot of it was based on the Edgar Wallace novels, and they did like detective stories, but they would have these murders that were a lot more brutal than like noir films, and it basically turned into the giallo films. And so,
Yeah,
but nobody ever talks about it, and
no.
It was really influential in the history of cinema, and so.
Well, I'm sure as soon as you put the video out there, those two clowns that invaded Al's stream yesterday, they'll probably run over to your channel and say, "Hey, you stole that from us."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, last comment here. Sean says international horror all day. I'm very picky with independent horror, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. Of course not. You just got done watching. You got Saint Maud. I know you like it. It's just most of it is uneventful for me. Let's see. Well said about. Oh, thank you. Yep, thank you, sir. Night of the Living Dead. Thank you. Yeah, that's such a brutal scene. That's just heartbreaking. I don't see how anybody's not affected by that movie. That's such a brilliant movie. Yeah. It really is. It's a real shame that Romero sort of got typecast into that. I mean, he made a few good other movies. I like Dawn of the Dead. As far as the movies go, I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. The remake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, freaking ferocious. Oh
yeah. The zombies in it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a great
with the
movie.
fast-moving zombies and stuff.
You know what? I liked it because they had such really good characters in it. That's what I liked. I mean, it was a short film, but they packed a lot of character development in it, and there was a lot of heart in that movie. And when the characters were getting in trouble and dying and whatnot, you were feeling them. You were really, and I think his name is Michael Weber. I think his name, or Jake Weber. Dude, one of the best performances I've ever seen in a horror film. Absolutely loved it. Just moving as hell. But yeah, those are few and far between, it seems like. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and end this. I want to thank our guest, Kevin Chaos from Haunted by Horror. Mr. Bones has dropped this link down there. Please, if I could tell you to do one thing today that you listen to me, please go over there and give Kevin a sub. It's well worth your time. Hit the notification bell too, and then stand back to be amazed by, I feel, is probably the best film reviewer on the tube. Once you see and hear his reviews, you'll agree with me. I'm positive of it. And if you're a film reviewer as well, you can learn a lot from him. I did. I won't. I'm very impressed. And I'm so glad you agreed to come on and do this show. And we will see you in the various streams because you're very active in the community as well. So
I try to be.
Yeah, you do a great job at it. Yep. Of course, I see you over there, and if I find out you're a Cravenite, you and I got to show off our secret decoder rings.
Oh yeah.
Steven, we love you, man. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm. I don't know. I don't think I've earned my Cravenite title yet. I don't think I've been there enough. But they got some really nice people in there, and I love. Like I said, I love the fact he loves the movie so much. I just hate for him to ruin it for himself. That's
Like
what I just. That's what.
I
That's
feel like
really
he
what.
kind of tries to avoid like actual spoilers for the movie and stuff, at least, because some people they base their whole thing on revealing whatever they can find out, and I feel like he likes to know a lot about what's going on, but not as far as ruining the plot.
I don't know. It seems like every time there's something new, he's out there with another stream about it. I just feel by the time the movie gets here, he's gonna know everything to know about it before the movie starts. I just do. It's like, don't do that to yourself. Be surprised. Be amazed. That's But again, I'd never met a super fan before. He's my first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never met it. I know I have never met anybody with such devotion to one movie, and it's cool. It's cool because I'm like I've heard of him, but I've never actually seen it in action. It's different. It's different. Um,
Yeah.
but he's a good human. He's a good guy. So, and hopefully he'll come over and I know he's doing a June 18th. He's doing a
Yeah.
special. He's doing a special stream. You already know about this.
Oh
He's
yeah.
doing. He's doing see, he's doing that special stream about. He's going to explain why Stu is still alive because you tell him that Stu's dead, and he just no, it's not true, dude. He's dead. He's not coming back. It would be terrible if he came back. It would ruin the movie if he came back because he's dead. Uh, uh, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's coming out later this. No, it's coming out next year. I think next
Yeah, I
January.
think it's coming out next year.
Uh,
The last one came out this year.
see, the streaming only
Oh, it
only
did.
rules. Yeah, Sean's mentioning this. The streaming only rules forces people like us to buy bootlegs like The Mandalorian. Yeah, I truly don't understand Disney. I really don't. I really do not understand that. I mean, Netflix, okay, maybe I get that, but Disney has so many other forms of income that for them to sit there and not put out these things out for fans, it's sort of like they sort of reap what they sow. I'm not gonna say or judge anybody who buys a bootleg of a Disney movie. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
That's kind of always been part of their model, though, with the Disney Vault and everything.
Yeah, but they did that they did that. It was spur to drive sales.
Yeah,
But at least you always knew you could get it. You could always get it. Maybe you didn't get it now, but sooner or later during special days, well, we're gonna put it back on the vault. Okay, I know you will, but come April, Easter, you're gonna sell it again. So I'll just wait till that happens. But at least you had a chance to actually go out there and physically get it. Now we have zero chance. They didn't put out the
yeah. I think they're
Mandalorian
just
yet.
trying to push people into the streaming.
Right. And it's like a lot of people don't want to do streaming. We want to be able to have it in our hands and watch it at our own leisure and not worry about it being taken off the channel.
Yeah, and not have
Uh,
to worry about if some kind of infrastructure goes down, not being able to watch it.
right. I mean, if something happens to your streaming service, if the power goes out or you get hacked or whatever.
Yeah, your
Well,
Wi-Fi's down. I have Suddenlink, and they go down all the time.
yeah. I mean, I can go downstairs and put it in the Blu-ray player, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right, kids. That's it for us. Again, thank you, Kevin, so much for coming by.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. We'll do it again sometime soon.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Molly Sousa. And then tomorrow at 10 p.m., we will be all running over the Hobbs Horse channel for the midnight hour. And until then, we'll talk to you soon. Peace. Stay right where you're at, Kevin.